Hi there, it's Rich with Richbound Photography, Sacramento, California, and I'm bringing you another episode of Rich Baum's Tips and Tricks for Real Estate Photography, where we try and teach each other. You can get some great tips here and some ideas to help you become more successful. That's what it's all about. So I've had a lot of people recently, and actually throughout the years, I've had a lot of people ask me, how can I speed up my shoots? And I am always kind of a little bit hesitant to saying, I want you to shoot faster, because really, I want you to shoot better. But I think it's really important, and I think that we all understand an expectation of what we want and how long it takes us to shoot. Now, I want people to understand too, if you're shooting and it takes you only, if you've gotten it down to 30 minutes to shoot a 2,500 square foot house, that's great. But if it takes you an hour and a half to 2 hours to edit, that's not really where we're going. So what I'm trying to do is get a better product and really understand how to get what you need, because photographing, when you're shooting a house and you've got to be thinking of your editing, your end product, and you got to make sure that you're getting the shots you need. You're getting, if you're doing flambient or flash ambient blend like I am, I'm making sure I get exactly what I need. It also helps that I am using an iPad to tether, because I can see what I'm doing. I can really see the areas that I need to really understand. Have I lit the area properly? I want to see it in a bigger screen than the back of my camera. So I am going to say, please subscribe to the Rich Baum YouTube channel and check out the show notes, because we have all these good things in there. Our podcast, the PFRE Real Estate Photography Conference in Vegas in November. So a lot of really good things. So let's just get started with this. Okay. Organization, just getting even as you're driving up to the house, especially for the new people out there. Understand the equipment that you need, because if you forget to put on, let's say you get in the house and you forget your trigger on your camera, it takes you a couple of minutes. And saving time is minute upon minute. It is a multiplication factor of not only this one shoot, but how much time did you save this day? Or let's say you're shooting 5 houses. How much time could I save this week or this year? And if you do the math, you're going to see seconds upon seconds add up to hours. Okay, so we want to just make sure that you get all your equipment as you're ready to do it, and you want to make sure it's all accessible, easy to put on, and you want to find out what works for you. My thing is, I don't bring my camera case in the car. I pull up to the house, or I pull up and park behind so my car isn't in the shot, and I'm looking. If I've just got a normal one-story house, 2,500 square foot house, I think is normal. Usually I get my tripod out, I put my camera on it, I put my trigger on it, and then on top of the camera, then I'll pull out a light stand, I'll put my 200 on a light stand, then I'll put my 360 on a light stand, and then I will just have everything ready to go, making sure I have my iPad with me, and that's just what works for me. Now, you might be using one big light, a couple of small lights, whatever. Just figure out what works for you and make sure you're all organized and all planned. Okay, so one really good tip, and this is a biggie. It seems like a smallie, but it's a biggie. Put an extra battery in your pocket all the time, because how many times we think our battery's charged and we end up in the middle of the shoot, the camera dies, and then your tethering program dies, and then you've got to ruin your flow. You got to leave the house, go to your car, get it. So put a battery in your pocket. No more said for that. Now, I want to make sure when you go to meet the agent in the morning, make sure that you're not parked in any place that's going to be seen, and make sure that the owner or the agent are not parked on the street where you will be seen either or both ways. Your agent might be fine having their car in the shot, but don't have your car in the shot, because how many times have we gone and we've been shooting and we see our car and we're moving our camera behind a wall, so we don't do that. So just make sure it's not in the shot. Okay. Make sure you tell all your agents and your homeowners to please turn on all the lights. If you shoot with lights, if you don't shoot with lights, you want them all out. Tell them to turn off the lights, but tell them to turn on all the lights as you're getting set up, and ceiling fan motion off, because we know it can take at least 30 to 60 seconds to turn that off. So that's another minute or two we're waiting. So that's how it all adds up. So make sure you have ceiling fan off and all lights on, because it's also, for me at least, and again, everything here is just for me, it's much easier to turn lights off than to try and find the lights and turn them on. So that's just what works for me. Okay. I really think a way to speed up is I get inside the house, and after asking the agent, is there something you want me to shoot or something you don't want me to shoot? And I never do, almost never, ever, ever do a walkthrough, because a walkthrough can be 20 minutes of time you'll never get back in your life. And the fastest way to ruin a shoot for me is to go have an agent that wants to go through each and every shot. I don't want to do that. Don't come to me. Also, I tell my agents and I tell my homeowners, please don't stand over my shoulder. I apologize, but it is just not helpful to me in my creative process. So anyway, okay. So I start, as I put the camera right in the front door, I will start shooting in that direction. And that is what works best for me. I will shoot 1 room, 2 room, 3 room, 4 room, keep moving forward. And unless there are some lighting issues where the sun is streaming in from one direction, I may change it up. But remember too, if you do change up things and they want you to go upstairs, don't forget to get all the shots you need. How many times have I left my flow and ended up having to go and come back and shoot a shot, a room, a dining room, a bedroom, a small bathroom that I didn't get? That's a big time suck. So make sure you get all the shots you need. Now, there is a way to do shoot in a direction, and this was a technique brought to me by my friend Wayne Capili from Carmel, California, or Monterey, California. And he is a high-end shooter and the best there is, but he does a technique called light farming. And basically what he's doing is, if you're at the front door of a house, you may have you might have a den on the right, and then a dining room in front of that, and then another area on the left, or a stairway, and then an area in the back. I put all my lights ready to go and light, and that way I can just go one room, keep shooting in the same direction and the same direction. So instead of shooting like the front entrance in one direction and turning around shooting that same room in the other direction, I'm going to do it all in the same direction so I can keep the same lighting plan. So Wayne's speaking at the PFRE conference, and his speaking subject is light farming. So I'm going to learn a lot more from that, and I'm sure you'll know more about it after the conference. So anyway, I hope you can join me there, and I look forward to seeing all my YouTube tips and tricks people out there in Vegas. But if not, we'll see you next year. We are going to be doing a lot of broadcasts with the Shooting Spaces. Brian and I are going to be doing videos, interviews, Facebook Lives, all kinds of things, so everybody can see what we're doing in Vegas. So next year, you're not going to miss it. Okay. Now, have a more powerful light will help you speed up the process. If you're only using, let's say, because it's just what you got, or it is your money, it's too expensive to get bigger lights or more lights. I understand that, but think about it. If you can have a speed light and then you have a 200, that's great. But if you can also have another 200, and that's 200 watt seconds, like an Evolve 200, and then you can get a 360 or a 400 or a 600. I don't use my 600 much, but it is very helpful at times. And sometimes having extra power translate directly into faster shooting and a better product. So get more bigger lights. And if you have come into a house and you look out in the front of the house and you go, oh my gosh, it's a 2-story and it looks like a 40-foot ceiling, I just pull my 600 out of the car and I put it on a 12-foot stand. That way it allows me to go inside the house, put it in the corner, raise it all the way up and bounce off the ceiling. And that way I don't have to run upstairs and put lights on railings to bounce off the ceiling. I just use this one and I'll move it around for where I need it on my shoot. And that big light is really going to actually save me 5, 10, maybe 15 minutes. And also, if you have wooden ceilings or like a log cabin or something like that, a 600 is extra power where you can literally just bounce off of the ceiling, because each degree of color darkness takes more light. It's light sucking. So learn that. And anyway, I'm not going to go much more into this, but I'm just saying 12-foot stand with a big 600 or something else, 360 or 400. It's a great thing to have. And if you can afford that and it's something you're thinking about, be sure to get it. I'll give it a thumbs up. It's what works for me. Okay. Now, I want to say too, I've done a tip is when I go upstairs and I start going down, and almost every house will have upstairs, will have small bedrooms, small bathrooms, powder rooms, whatever. And then on the way to the master, I only need a speed light. So what I've done is I take every speed light, and that's the little flash, Nikon, Canon, Yongnuo, Godox, whatever. They all come with a pouch. I cut little holes in the pouch, and I take zip ties and I zip tie the pouch to my tripod. And then I keep a speed light with me all the time. You can also put a 200 in there, but I like a speed light because it's really small and light. And then I bring up my, usually for the second story, I'll go up just with my camera and my tripod. I will go with one light, which is usually a 200 or a 360, and I will put that light in the master bedroom where I'll need it. Most bedrooms, 90% of the time, all I need is a speed light. So then I'll just start going room to room, and I will set up my camera, and I'll pull out my speed light, light it with my hand. I don't need a tripod. I don't need a light stand. I don't need anything. I just do this. And if you can't get in and out of a small bathroom in about 2 minutes, get over it. Spend less time, because bathrooms can be light sucking. They can be not light. They can be time sucks, and you just don't want to go there. And if you need to, you can shoot it ambient. Usually bathrooms, unless if you're seeing a bright light, but many times we don't see it because that's up higher than our frame. You can do it in an ambient shot, or you can just do a flash shot. Get fast at bathrooms, because that's not places you want to spend time, and it can easily take too much time to do. Okay. So I have got that pouch on there. I've got the pouch there, and I've got there my speed light, and that's great. Now, I apologize. I'm reading down a list right here. You can't see it, but I just want to make sure that you understand why I'm looking over here. So, okay. Editing on the road with a laptop. Okay. This is something, I jumped a little further ahead than I was going to, but let me just bring this up now. A fellow photographer, Scott Dubose, out of San Jose, I think he's out of California. He is the one guy, and we've interviewed him on the podcast, and he is one guy that can literally shoot a 2,500 square foot multi-million-dollar or million-dollar house in 20, 30 minutes. He's the only guy I'll believe. I don't even believe myself. When I say I shoot something in an hour, it's usually taking me an hour and 10, whatever. But Scott taught me that the way to his success in shooting multiple houses in a day is to bring a laptop. And I have my beautiful 15-inch MacBook Pro, and I can edit on the road, and I love it. I just find a Starbucks, and I go in there. I know my local Starbucks, and then I will usually add in a little bit of time in my shoots. So if I need to, let's say I have an hour in between shoots, because I always want to make sure I have enough time. I don't go back to back, so I stress over it. Don't stress over that. But what I do is I will go into Starbucks, or even in my car, I'll start the ingestion system. I will start ingesting images into my computer, so I will be able to edit and put them in Lightroom. And that you can do while sitting in front of a house in 10 minutes. Or you can go and you can edit a whole house or two between shoots. That's what I do. And when I learn to see just a 15-inch screen, I'm fine with it. I'm looking at my MacBook Pro here. I'm shooting this on, but I have two big 30-inch screens here, and I'm fine not using them. I just use my laptop, and I'm okay with it. So that works for me. But I can do editing, and I can usually have my whole day edited before I get home. So that works for me. And thank you, Scott Dubose, for this great tip, and I love it. So, and learn to get a power source in your car, like an inverter, where you can plug in your laptop, so you'll have plenty of power. And Starbucks, man. They rock, because you just go there. You don't have to buy anything. You just go there, and they learned their lesson over that anyway. Okay. So, learning to edit on there, and it's great. And, I think that is really something that helped me speed up my whole day really big time. That was maybe the biggest thing that sped me up. It just would, I'm not editing till 2 a.m. anymore when I've shot 5 houses and had to get them out. I may only be shooting till 12 o'clock editing till 12, because I've already edited 2-3 shoots during the day. Okay. We're talking about computers now, and I just want to impress upon you, Story. I was sitting at my desk and my wife is in the office on the other side of my office, and I'm just waiting and I'm going like this. I'm just like this. And she's like, "What's the matter, Rich?" And I said, "I'm waiting for my computer because it was taking so long to ingest images. It was taking so long to, it was taking a minute or more to export two images in Photoshop as layers." And that was just, and she said, "Well, what can make it faster?" And I said, "Well, I could probably get a faster computer or an SSD, solid state drive." And you need to get yourself a solid state drive because that is going to not only make your computer start up in 10 seconds or 15 seconds, but it's going to speed up. If you can't send two images, just two images from Lightroom to Photoshop, if they take longer than 10 to 15 seconds to open up as layers in Photoshop, you need to do something. So I recommend go get a SSD. They're so cheap and they're so easy and they're fantastic. Also get some RAM, extra RAM. I'm not saying you have to max out 32 gigs, whatever. Learn what your computer takes and learn the max it can take. And if you can afford it, get RAM because certain things are going to help you. And RAM is probably going to help your speeding up your editing time. So that's all part of it. So I just want to say really important. Get that computer up to speed. And if you need to buy a new computer, it's a great excuse to spend some money, but it's really translates. Just imagine, take your phone and your calculator on your phone and put in, if you're spending an extra 30 seconds per image to edit, multiply that by 25 or 35 and then multiply that by 7 so you can see how long it takes during a week, and then multiply it by 45 weeks in a year, and you will see some serious time. That's what it's all about. Look at the big picture. Just don't look at saving time shooting and shooting faster. You know, like a lot of people want to do single flashes. If that works for you, great. It doesn't work for me. It doesn't speed me up. I like having 2 to 3 flashes on stands. Move them around. That's what works for me, but that's just what works for me. Okay. Another thing is learn keyboard shortcuts. And now I don't know about PC, but I do know in Mac it's very easy to learn, very easy to do keyboard shortcuts. So when I send images to, I want to highlight all my images in Lightroom and I send them to Photoshop to open up as layers, I just do a keystroke. It may be only saving me 2 seconds, but I multiply 2 seconds by 365 days a year. And that's a lot. I mean, how many pictures I do. And the last thing I'm going to say today, and there are a lot of things, I've got to look for it. Hold on a second. Hold on. Okay, I'm going to get another one out because I don't know where it is. Here it is. Get a programmable mouse or a tablet. A lot of people speed up time on a tablet. Programmable mouse has little clickers. You can program all these different things and it will save you a ton of time. So this is Rich with Richbound Photography saying, I hope this helped you and you can really speed up your time and have a better experience. But if you're having problems, send me a comment, send me a message. I will be able to answer it for you. As always, subscribe to this YouTube channel and keep up the faith, man. We're going to all learn and go through this and do better. And I know from letters I've gotten from all over the world, I'm helping people and that's my goal, but I'm really helping people to be successful. And that's really it. And the saving time is strictly to save time so you can spend more time with your family, make more money, get more equipment, and then spend more time with all kinds of things. It's so much fun to do. So it's my pleasure, and I want to thank you so much. Subscribe. Be sure to use the Adorama link in the show notes because that really helps motivate me to do these free videos. So I'm happy to do it though. But check out shootingspacespodcast.com and shootingspaces.net. We've got all kinds of great things there. We're doing webinars. We're doing podcasts. We're doing all kinds of things. And I'm really looking forward to meeting all of you in Vegas on the 20th and 21st of November, 2019. If you're watching this afterwards, we're probably going to have another workshop, another conference next year. So keep an eye out for that, but you'll know. Stick with me and I'll inform you about all these things. So thank you so much And I look forward to meeting you, or I look forward to your comments on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much. Bye.